What's up, guys? Real Trader Joe here, bringing you the real-time investing trials, tribulations, and triumphs from a part-time trader in the retail investing age. Good to see everybody. Hope you guys are doing well this morning. A lot of snow outside in Pennsylvania where I'm at, so hope you guys are staying nice and dry. Today we're going to go over the options contract. What's an option? What's a contract? What's it doing here? We're going to understand all of the pieces before we get into the mechanics. You know, you look at your dog, you see this in nature all the time. You hand out a piece of food, your dog doesn't know what the hell it is, takes a couple sniffs, and then decides, okay, now that I understand what this is, what do I want to do with it? So we're going to do the same thing here, and we'll get into all that in just a bit. Oh, and one last thing. I always like to refer people to other people who are probably way smarter than me and do things better than I do. So you'll notice here I'm trading in the Tastyworks trading platform. That comes from the Tasty Trade company who is specifically interested in options research and, you know, pretty much everything options and futures. This trading platform is designed for an options trader. Their educational platform is designed for an options trader or futures trader. One of the things on that trading platform, one of the resources on that educational platform, Tasty Trade, is Dr. Jim Schultz's Options Crash Course for Beginners. Basically does exactly what we're doing here, but just explains it in a different way, and he's got a doctorate degree in academic finance, so take that for what it's worth. But I just thought I'd refer you guys there. I'll throw some links in the description, and if you do decide to sign up and start using the Tastyworks platform, be sure to hook your boy up with referral, because some of those referral packages on there are wicked. Thanks, and now we'll seriously get to what it is we're talking about. Okay, now I know you're all suffering from withdrawals from not seeing my pretty face anymore, but we got ground to cover, and I know we got to make some sacrifices. It's going to be tough, but we can do it. So what's an option? An option is the right to buy or sell 100 shares of stock at a given price until a certain time. Now you'll notice there are lots of conditionals in there. 100 shares of stock at a given price until a certain time. So there's a lot of hooks or little conditional requirements there in that sentence that we are going to have to be aware of when we want to trade options. So options are traded on the market as contracts. They trade just like stocks almost. One party buys and the other party sells. And when you buy or sell an option, you're selling a contract. That word is going to be important when we get into the components of an option in the next section. So let's get into the long side of the contract, or purchasing a contract. As a buyer, up front, you pay the seller of the contract in exchange for the right to buy or sell 100 shares of stock at any point until expiration. You're not obligated to exercise that right at all. So if the price is, let's just say $1.10, we used that in the previous slide, that means you pay the seller $110 for the right to buy or sell stock, depending on the type of option you have. If you're a buyer and you buy a call for $110, that means you pay the seller $110 for the right to buy stock. If you buy a put for $110, you pay the seller of the contract up front for the right to sell 100 shares of stock at any point until expiration. You are not obligated to exercise the right at all. If you want to, you can let that option sit and do nothing, and you can walk away if you want to. At any point between when you buy the contract and when it expires, you can sell it back to the seller at any point. We'll get into this in later videos, but contract values change depending on the price of the underlying stock, and you'll see a concrete example of this when we move into the Tastyworks platform later in the video and I show you an example of some of my options. But you can at any point decide, hey, I want to sell this back for a profit, or hey, I want to sell this back for a loss. And this is what I was talking about earlier. This last point is what I was referring to on the last slide, is that side is not equal to option type. Long calls, if you buy a call, that means you have the right to buy stock. And if you're long a put, if you purchase a put, that grants you the right to sell stock. And remember, the price that you have the right to buy or sell the stock at is the strike price. I've come up with a little cheat sheet at the end of the video that I'll post if you guys are still lost, but you can almost substitute the variables or the different components of the option into that sentence to figure out what it is you have the right or obligation to do. And I think that'll be really helpful. But let's dive into a real-world example. Nothing like getting out of theory. You'll get to see my beautiful face again. I missed showing it just as much as you missed seeing it. And we'll clear all this up with a real, live, no BS example of a long call option in my portfolio, and I'll explain everything. Hello everybody, great to see you. It's nice to have my face back on camera. I love staring at me just as much as you do. Anyway, that was a joke. I'm obviously not that much of a narcissist, but here we are in the Tastyworks platform. Glad to get out of theory land and actually show you guys something. It's how I learn best, and hopefully it's how some of you guys learn too. So this is a real position that I have on right now today on AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and I bought call options, right? I am taking the long side of the contract for 3 contracts, and I have the right to buy AMD stock at 92.5 until 716 days from today, which is January 20th, 2023. So let's break this down. This is the expiration, January 20th, 2023. That's how long I have this right for. What do I have the right to do? I have the right to buy stock because it's a call option, and I am on the long side, so I have the right to buy stock, 100 shares, of AMD at 92.5. Now, if you take a look at this profit graph too, it kind of gives you a visual, right? At 92.5, I'm going to make money, and anything beneath 92.5, I'm going to lose money. But if you look at the value, remember how I said you can actually buy or sell the contract back at any time and the option value changes? I want you guys to think about something. So AMD currently last traded at 88.86. I have the right to buy AMD at 92.5. But why would I do that? Why would I exercise it right now? I can get it from the market for cheaper than I have the right to buy it at. So it makes sense that this option, or these options, are worth less than what I paid for them, because I paid for the right to buy AMD at 92, and AMD's cheaper than 92. I actually don't really remember what I paid, so we're gonna go look. Yeah, the trade price was $26.72, $26.72 per share on 100 shares. So I paid just about over $2.5 grand for each of these options, and you add that all up and it cost me right around $8,000. So, and it's worth about $7,500. Now that decrease in value is due to 2 things. I lost value on time, which we'll explain later, but also just remember that the right to buy AMD at 92.5 isn't worth anything right now because AMD's at 88.86. The other thing I want you to keep in mind too, look how similar this profit graph is to the stock profit graph I showed you guys in my first video. There may be a connection here. Buying options may not be the way to go. Look at it. I mean, now, I do have unlimited profit to the upside, and I can only lose what I paid for the contracts on the downside, but still, just look at the profit graph. It's dependent on AMD. And there's other factors at play with options that also make, in my opinion, the long side of the option disadvantageous. But it is true, I did pay only $8,000, and I have unlimited potential to the upside. So, you know, I know some of you guys might be saying to me, well, this is awesome. I pay a certain amount of money, I can only lose so much, and I have unlimited upside potential. And, you know, you're right. And when we get into the short side, it's gonna look ugly, and it is definitely gonna look more appealing to purchase contracts. But I promise I will explain it all in good time. For right now, I just want you guys to notice how similar this looks to the stock price graph. Now, this is my profit and loss right now. At expiration, it's a whole different story because I have to actually get AMD to 92.5. But remember, I paid $8,000 for the contracts. So in order to break even on the fees that I paid for the contracts to the seller, I actually need AMD to go up here by 2023 because that's when all this expires. I hope all this is making sense, guys, and if it isn't, or I'm leaving something out, please, leave a comment. It's going to help me give better feedback. But already here you can start to see how it is that the odds are stacked against us as buyers of options contracts. We have to get the stock to move past the strike price because we are already incurring a debt by paying the seller the price of the contracts. I paid $26 a share, right? So I have to have AMD move 92.5 plus the $26 that I paid in order to just break even. Just to break even, I already need AMD to move up to about 119 and change. I know that was a lot of information, and hopefully that makes sense, so we'll just review it one last time. I am a buyer of this options contract. I'm on the long side, so I have the right. And what do I have the right to do? It's a call option, so I have the right to buy 100 shares of AMD at 92.5, that's our strike price, until the expiration date, which is January 20th, 2023. As I said, I'll provide a cheat sheet at the end of this little monologue here, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to post it in the comments, but I think that's enough information for this video, and we can go ahead and call it a day. Next video is going to be on the short side of the contract, and we'll compare it and see how it looks in relation to the long side, and maybe you'll start to see why selling or being short the options contract is maybe a more lucrative side. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Peace. Wait. Okay, yes, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Again, loving the likes and subscribe and comment features, that's going to be my shtick from now on. That's my thing. Give them love. Don't smash them or beat them into the ground. They get enough of that on a daily basis. Or I guess in my channel, they don't, but they will. So, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks a lot. Later.